Hi, I'm Leah, and today I'm going to show you how to patch drywall using two different techniques. Now, the first technique, we're going to patch this hole here, and we're going to use a drill. Now, the second patch we do is going to be without a drill, and I will guarantee you that after we make these repairs, you will never know that there was ever a hole. Okay, now I want to tell you about the tools and materials you're going to need to complete the job. You're going to need a battery-operated drill with a Phillips bit. You'll need a carpenter's square or anything that has a straight edge. You'll need a utility knife, drywall screws. This is a keyhole saw. A marker or any marking utensil, a pencil would be fine. And a piece of drywall that's an appropriate thickness. This is 1/2-inch drywall, which is perfect for residential walls and ceilings. If you have 5/8 drywall, it's not going to fit. And if you have 3/8, it's not going to fit. You're going to want 1/2-inch drywall. Also, keep in mind that the drywall should be large enough to cover the damaged area of the wall. And you'll also need 2 pieces of scrap wood of any kind. However, I will say that plywood is the best. Okay, so this is what you want to do. You want to take the piece of drywall that you have cut, and the drywall that you use needs to be larger than the hole. So you're going to place the drywall over the hole, like so, and then you're going to take a pen or a pencil and outline the piece of drywall. That's all you need. Okay, so we have our damaged area outline. There's not a connecting line here, but I'm telling you, it's not going to matter. You've got the general idea. Now you want to take your keyhole saw and you want to puncture the drywall. So you might have to work it a little bit just to get it in there. Now for the top piece, you can just use a utility knife. Push in. Gonna have to. There's paper also that you need to cut through on the back side. Here we go. And remove it. You may want to clean up your drywall edges just a little bit with the utility knife, just so you have a nice clean edge. And just doing this one little thing is really going to help guarantee really professional results. Okay, so we have our opening, it's clean, and now we just want to do a dry fit of the drywall that we've cut out. We'll do that. Oh yeah, that's nice. So let's remove it. We're ready to go. Okay, now I've secured one piece of scrap wood, and the purpose of it is to give the drywall that you're going to place in the opening something to rest against. It's backing. Now I'm going to insert the second piece of scrap wood, and I'm going to secure it. I'm going to show you how that's done. Okay, I'm going to get the screw going. So I've got it going a little bit, and so at this point I want to secure the scrap wood tightly, and now I'm going to continue the drill. There we go. Now I'm going to do the same thing at the top. I'm just going to get the screw going a little bit. I've got it going. Now I'm going to hold it securely. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to take the piece of drywall that I showed you earlier, and we're going to secure it inside the hole. And we're going to place a screw here, here, another screw here, and another screw here. That's in there. Now I'm going to put one here. Okay, now I'm going to screw in the third screw. And you want to countersink it. And the reason for that is when it comes time to cover these screw heads with the little joint compound, you want to hide it completely. So I'm going to secure the last screw, and you're going to want to countersink it. And what is countersinking? Countersinking is screwing the screw below the surface of whatever material. In this case, it's the drywall. So that's pretty secure. That's not going anywhere, folks. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to show you how to patch this hole with drywall without a drill. And then we're going to come back and I'm going to show you how to plaster both of them. Okay, what I've created here for the second patch, because we're going to do it without a drill, and we're also going to do it without securing it to scrap wood, all right? You create a drywall plug. And how you do it is you cut away the edge and it just reveals the paper. Now let me show you how to make this. You would take your scrap piece of drywall. Now again, it's got to be large enough to cover the damaged area. And you would score it. You would score it with a razor knife, a utility knife. Kind of looks like tic-tac-toe, doesn't it? And then when you need to peel away the paper to reveal this lip, you just snap it on the lines. There's two. Now we've got to get rid of these pieces. Slowly peel it away. And there's your plug. You want to fold the paper. So you're going to fold it, and you're going to fold it here. You're going to turn it on the side here, and you're going to fold it, and you're going to fold this side as well. Now let's go to the wall. Okay, see, now we take the drywall plug and we place it against the damaged area. And now we're going to trace all around the plug. And then remove it. And like before, we're going to just use the keyhole saw just for 3 of the sides. There we go. Now I'm going to take the piece that we cut earlier and I'm going to insert it in the hole. Okay, so now it's in place. And next I'm going to take joint compound and I'm going to seal the edges. Okay, now I'm going to go through some of the materials and tools you're going to need for the taping part. This is a fiberglass tape, and what I like about it is it adheres. It's got like a tacky side to it, and it will adhere to the wall. So we'll use this tape to hide the seams. Okay, now this is dry joint compound, and you'll notice the number 20. And generally what that means is it's a quick set. It's gonna set up in about 20 minutes. You'll want to read the directions before you mix this dry joint compound. Always use clean water and don't use hot water, because the hot water will make it set even that much more quick. So you'll need a mud pan, a brush, a clean brush, a mud knife, and a broad mud knife. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to tape. Let's get started. Okay, so the beauty of the tape is that it adheres. You lay it on like so. You take your knife, hold it firmly, and tear it. Now I'm going to tape right here, and we're going to do the same thing. Last piece to put up. I've got my joint compound mixed according to the directions on the package. And now I'm going to apply it to the tape. Don't worry about getting it, perfectly smooth, because to tell you the truth, you don't want it to be perfectly smooth. Now, I know that doesn't really make sense, but here's why. You're going to put on a second coat. And if the first coat is too smooth, the second coat will have a hard time keying in. So you want it to be a little abrasive. Don't be concerned that the drywall is showing in the center. Don't even worry about that, all right? So that'll do for now. Okay, now we're going to move on to the second patch that, we didn't use a drill. And we're not going to use tape either, because this paper lip, is going to serve as our tape. So let me show you how we do it. Okay, now I've removed the drywall. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of mud. And that's what they call joint compound. That's what the professionals call joint compound. They call it mud. Don't be afraid to put some joint compound on there. Or a little mud. Don't be afraid to put a little mud on there, okay? Okay, now it's time to insert the plug. So I'm going to line that up like so. And I'm going to press the paper down into the mud. Come across the top. Now here's the thing. It's a little rough, but again, just like the top, we want it to be a little rough because that's going to help the second coat adhere. So when we come back, I'm going to put the finish coat on. Okay, now the first coat has started to set. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the second coat. And I'm just going to lay the mud up there first. And then I'll come back over it. So I'm just going to lay it on there. And I'm going to lay on quite a bit. Look at that. And now I'm going to clean it off. Okay, now I'm going to just lay it down a little bit. So laying down is just getting the plaster a little more smooth. And that's what I'm doing now. Trying to get some of the ridges and rough edges out. So I'm going to lay it down one more time on this side, which I have. That's pretty good for now. Now that's the second coat. You may need a third coat, but we're going to come back over this and I'm going to show you how to do a wet sand. And that should lay it out and it'd be perfectly smooth. But we're going to have to let that set for about 20 minutes. Now I'm going to move on to the bottom. And again, I'm just going to lay that mud on kind of heavy. Also, you want to extend past the original joint compound that you put on. Okay? Like on the top, I'm going to lay it down. Okay, now it's set up. It's pretty dry. And that took about 20 minutes. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to take out the imperfections with water. This is a wet sand. And I like to use a paintbrush and a taping knife. So let me show you how it's done. So you hit the edges. Hit the edges really well. And what happens is it starts to break down that joint compound a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean the edges. Now what you're going to find here is that's perfectly tapered into the wall. That's hidden. And when you paint that, you will see no ridges or edges. Okay, so the next thing you can use, if you don't have a brush, you can use a sponge. And I'm going to do the bottom with the sponge. And you just want to take off those rough edges. Wherever you see an edge, take it off. And again, a wet sponge, a wet brush acts just like sandpaper. So we did 2 drywall patches today. One with a drill and one without. And folks, they're both pretty solid. Now tomorrow it'll be completely dry and you'll be able to paint it. You may want to do a light sand, but you don't have to. These 2 patches are professional patches. And if you had someone come to your home, you're talking $75 a patch. That's $150. And it only cost us $20 in materials today. It's $130 savings. So this is Leah saying, you can do this.